Hi there, welcome to the End Times Guy podcast. My name is Lee, your favorite blue collar truck driver, unskilled, unlearned, untrained, unworthy, and just thankful that God has blessed me with where I'm at. Able to do this podcast free of charge. I'm not going to do anything with my hand out looking for money because if I do that, then that's going to affect what I'm saying because then I'm concerned about tickling your ears. How do you like those words? Tickle, tickle. Now, do you like me enough to open your wallet? I don't want any of that. I want to do what brings glory to God and gets my brothers and sisters whipped into shape, ready to stand before our God and King. Today, I am stewing in my juices, absolutely frusticated. The Canadian government has no end of immorality. And I'm utterly powerless. I'm just a nobody. I can sit here and shake my head and cluck my tongue, but it's not going to change anything. And the Trudeau government is spending hundreds of millions of dollars funding terrorism around the world, giving it to all kinds of dangerous Muslim groups. And it's also giving equally lavish amounts of money to all kinds of quote unquote women's health groups around the world as well. Now, women's health is our Canadian polite way of saying abortion. We're funding abortions worldwide at the tunes of hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm so frustrated, so disgusted. And I see what's going on in Alabama and Louisiana and Kentucky, the courage of my brothers and sisters. And it just breaks my heart that I live in such a spineless country. I don't consider myself a Canadian citizen at all. I have no respect for Canada, no patriotism. I was actually thinking today, I wonder if I could convince Trump to invade Canada. We have a lot of resources up here, a lot of empty land, a lot of good, clean, fresh water. I really think you should invade. I would rather it be consumed into the United States because at least then we would be under the Constitution and would have some protection of free speech. We don't have that in Canada. If I say anything that someone perceives as hate speech, then I appear before the Human Rights Tribunal, and there's no clear law on it. Anyone can decide that what I'm saying is hateful. So it's a dangerous place to live. It's Orwellian. And the people aren't aware. The people just aren't educated enough and don't care enough. Votes are typically cast based on personal interest. Who's going to touch less of my tax dollars? That's Canadian virtue for you. So this is what I'm dealing with, and I'm sitting here mulling and stewing. How would I do better? What sort of government would I put in place? And I was giving it some thought how it would be a free the people government and almost libertarian in the sense, a kind of a hodgepodge of libertarian and Christian values. I would try and defund and shut down the federal government completely. We just don't need a federal government, maybe a token federal authority in the middle of the country, not based in Ontario, where they have the majority of the population and they influence the whole country, but they don't represent or understand the whole country. So it would be a central government that understands all the provinces, would be very restricted in power. I would just sell the Canadian military for $5. That's all it's worth. And make payments to the United States, make an agreement with the United States, since they are legitimately our protector anyways. We're completely dependent on the U.S. to protect us in the event of an invasion from Russia. We would be entirely dependent on the United States. If we were to send our, 10 stealth snowmobiles, what's that going to do? 2 polar bears could take out our northern military. We have no defenses. I'm just being a realist. United States, we're going to make payments to you for our defense. At least now you get the recognition you deserve for the job you're doing anyways. So the federal government would not need to look after highways. That should be in the hands of the provinces. Healthcare should be in the hands of the provinces. And healthcare needs to be reformed. Our system, they boast about it. They say it's free. It's not free. I pay every month, and my employer pays every month, and I still don't have access to any health care. If you think Canada has good health care, you have to experience it for yourself. Right now, I have some kind of growth in my right hand, and I'm not going to go in and get it looked at until like I'm completely dysfunctional, because I can't afford to. First of all, I have to go into a walk-in clinic, which means I have to miss a day of work. So this is how it works. I stand in line at the walk-in clinic, and we line up at 7 in the morning. The doors open at 9, and those who get through the door first get the first appointments. So I may or may not get an appointment that day. So I miss a day of work to get an appointment. Then I might have to miss another day of work to go to the appointment. And then that's only a referral. So I can schedule another appointment, which will come months down the road. So then months down the road, I get my visit to the hospital to perform the surgery if that's what's needed. And I will miss more work at that time. So for me, I'm more prone to go into my bathroom with a knife and try and take care of it myself. Welcome to Canadian healthcare. It's dysfunctional. Now, our problem is that there's so much bureaucracy. More than half of our money goes to bureaucracy, which is absolute nonsense. And that's the dysfunction in our healthcare system. So it should be privatized. It should be run on a provincial level. And frankly, every doctor should have liberty within his own practice to take on the cases he chooses to. Our money should by and large be going to the doctors. And this is the kicker. Now, we have a doctor shortage. We have a healthcare professional shortage. But we also have people on welfare who, can't find work. Well, as far as I'm concerned, immediately they should be going into the healthcare profession. They should be doing 6 hours of training from 6 in the morning till noon and working in the hospital in the afternoon, beginning with janitorial custodial services. Now, you can rotate this and have, half of the welfare population in the morning doing custodial, and then they switch. So they would have an afternoon shift working, doing their studies. And we would crank out healthcare professionals, and they're already being paid. They're already getting government money. So once they switch to the healthcare system, they would be housed in better barracks. And yes, I don't think, why is the government giving welfare people money to live on their own so they have the freedom to access the drugs and alcohol that keeps them on welfare? It's stupid. If you can't provide for yourself, welcome to the community barracks. You get a bed, you get a meal, that's all you get. If you don't like it, go get a job. And then the homeless people will have a bed too. It's a win for everybody. And all those welfare dollars would not be flowing out like a river. And I worked as a community in the Salvation Army. I was manager of a community food bank as well as a youth pastor. And I got to experience firsthand, people. 5% of the people that came in were honest people who were going through a hard patch. 95% were drug and alcohol abusers who knew the system front to back and used it. And I sat there behind my desk realizing that I was nothing but a glorified enabler. I was supporting the drug community, and that's all I was doing. I was disgusted with the Salvation Army. I was disgusted with myself, and I will never, ever in my life donate another dollar to the Salvation Army. Absolute fraud. And now I donate to Open Doors USA, a very, very good place. You know what? Give your money to God. Don't give it to man. Pray. Be very conscious about where your money is going. If you're helping a man build a big vision of his head, a nice big church building, you may find out that you have no treasure stored up in heaven as a result of that, because it was never God's work at all. Make sure where you're giving your money is pleasing to God. He's not pleased that you gave it away foolishly. I'll give you an example. In Kamloops, I went to a church of 400 people, and the Spirit of God was not in that place, but they had money. It was a wealthy church. They gave $20,000 to bring a Muslim family to Canada. Now, Pharaoh didn't have to pay for the frogs or the locusts or any of the plagues. They were sent free of charge. You don't have to pay for it. But this church felt very smug that they had brought this Muslim family to Canada with $20,000 of the Lord's money. And I questioned one of the women about this, and she was very smug. We're 100% unanimous. Well, I feel bad for all those people who donated their money to that church, because that didn't glorify God in the least. It did not help their brothers and sisters whom they were commanded to love. It's a shame to them all. And they've lost their investment in heaven. It's gone. It's not there because they were fools. I don't want you to be a fool. I want you to be wise. I want you to invest your money in the kingdom of heaven and know that it will be there waiting for you when you arrive. I donate to Open Doors USA. I don't donate to the Canada version because I don't think we need it. Open Doors USA is very well established, and my money is, I think it's 96 cents on the dollar, ends up overseas helping my brothers and sisters who are hungry, who are being brutalized, who are being terrorized, who are homeless. Man, I feel good. I know my money is stacking up in heaven, and I can't wait. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be. But I'm rambling. The point is, in my own view of government, there would no longer be single moms collecting, multi-thousands of dollars from the government, as well as child support payments from the father. I think that you shouldn't reward bad behavior. I think that both the man and the woman need to be held to account for having a child and not wanting to take care of it themselves. So there would be in every community a home for single moms where they would have a good little apartment with a clean environment, and there would be supervision to make sure that each apartment is being maintained in a way that is good for the children. Never mind the mom. She put herself in that situation. She has no right to raise a child in a disgusting, filthy environment while she's off intoxicated or done up on some drugs, which I saw all the time. All the time. Single moms, man, they don't get there by accident. So first of all, the dad, anyone who fathers a child is automatically docked 30% of their income per child. And, if you have two, it would go down to 20 per. If you have three, 15 per. So that they would have skin in the game. You're stupid enough to have a child, you're damn well going to pay for it. So automatically, there would be no courts getting involved. It would just be an automatic thing. You father a child, you pay the price. And how many dads would be running around, fathering children carelessly? I think they'd have a new outlook on fatherhood. It costs money to be a dad, stupid. And every mom who has a child but isn't able to support it would move into this place. She would have an automatic apartment. There would be a daycare facility in this apartment building would be dedicated to the children first. They would have the best possible care and upbringing, healthy food, access to good education. And I wouldn't allow all that, gender twisted garbage, tranny stuff. None of that. We're talking about my dream government, right? And the 1 out of 5 of the moms would be supervisors and caretakers in the daycare, while all the other moms went to work, and they would be doing community jobs, which you would normally pay tax dollars to have done, overseeing maintenance of the city and things like that. And also, they would be going to the seniors' houses to mow their lawns, vacuum their carpets, wash their walls, do maintenance on the buildings, all that good stuff. You know what? Why shouldn't the hardworking folks reap a little bit of kickback from their tax dollars? So I'm going on and on about all my dreams of how I would change things and make things better. And it just made me realize, you know what? We've always longed for a utopia. A place that was run right, but it's human nature. If I was put in that position of authority, with that position of authority would come corruption. I would have friends moving in with suggestions, and we would all start getting kickbacks, and it would end up corrupted too. My best efforts would end up corrupted, and it wouldn't take long at all. You'd see me living like a king with gold and all the rest of it. It's just human nature. There's no such thing as a human utopia, but we do have hope. In the dream of Daniel, interpreted for Nebuchadnezzar, there was a march of kingdoms, and the prior to the final kingdom, it was the Roman Empire. And then we're given this assurance there would not be another worldwide kingdom until the end times, a kingdom unlike any kingdom before it. It would be a blend of iron and steel, strength and fragility. And that kingdom we're living in now, it's here. I don't fully understand the interpretation, whether it's the mixture of the strength of the Roman Empire, which we certainly have through military might and nuclear warfare and all the rest of that. There is might, but it's mixed with weakness. I don't know if that's the leftist ideology that's permeated the planet, or it could perhaps be technology, which has created weakness in us. Either way, this kingdom that we're living in now is the final kingdom. And we haven't had utopia. We've had all the time in the world, 5,500 years, to figure out utopia. And we've only had 40 years where a war wasn't recorded on the earth. So we tried, we failed. Now, the final kingdom is about to be destroyed. The stone, which was not cut out by human hands, is about to smash and destroy every kingdom of the earth. And you and I need to lift our heads up and get excited and start doing our happy dance, because this is the kingdom of our God. And if you're born again, this is your kingdom. This is your family. This is your hope. This is your vindication. There will never again be another corrupt, lying leadership stealing your money to fund all kinds of perversion and atrocities that leave you feeling sick to your stomach. You won't have to fret and worry about the corrupt system stealing more of your money. You won't have to worry about living with the burdens of debt, the obligations of work, the concerns of social status, the welfare of your children. All the things of the world that make us sick and take away our joy are about to be smashed to pieces. Our king is a righteous king. He is the one that goes and looks out for the weak, the pitiful, the small, and the lost. He doesn't care for the great, the grand. He pays them no mind. He is the one who loves the inferior, the broken, the despised, and the crushed. And he's going to restore justice, peace, and truth to the earth. This is our time. This is the government we've been waiting for. This is everything we ever dreamed of is about to come true. I want you to lift your eyes to heaven and rejoice. Our redemption draws near. God bless you, brothers and sisters.